Have you ever walked through your home and felt a strange heaviness in the air? Not from the walls or the furniture, but from everything those things hold. The memories, the emotions, the quiet weight of years gone by. I remember standing in my living room one afternoon, sunlight pouring through the blinds, and feeling like the space was closing in on me. Every shelf was full, every corner busy, not just with objects, but with stories I was afraid to let go of. There was my father's old jacket I hadn't touched in years, the stack of unread books I swore I'd get to someday, the gifts I kept only out of guilt. Each piece whispered something: joy, loss, obligation. And suddenly, I realized it wasn't my home that was cluttered. It was my heart. That day, I began to let go, one drawer, one memory at a time. And with every item I released, I felt a little lighter, a little freer. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from adding more. It comes from honoring what once mattered, then gently making space for what's next. That's when a house starts to feel like home again. Calm, clear, alive.
A few years ago, my home was bursting at the seams. Closets overflowing, drawers packed so tight they barely closed, and shelves lined with things I thought I needed. Things I once believed defined me. Every corner whispered of the person I used to be. The clothes from a younger time, the gadgets I swore would make life easier, the decorations I bought to make the house feel complete. But the strange thing was, the fuller my home became, the emptier I felt. I remember one evening vividly. I was sitting in the living room, surrounded by stuff, things that once brought excitement, but now only collected dust. The lamp glowed softly, and yet I felt this quiet ache inside. I had worked so hard, spent so much, filled my days and my house, but still there was this hollowness I couldn't name. It was as if my life had become a closet I couldn't quite close. Then one morning, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic. No lightning bolt of realization, no grand decision. I simply opened a drawer, one that had been stuffed for years, and I decided to let go of just one thing. A scarf I hadn't worn in over a decade. As I held it, memories flooded back. Where I bought it, who I was then, what I thought I needed to be. But in that moment, I realized I didn't need to carry it anymore. It had served its time. So I folded it one last time, thanked it silently, and let it go. It sounds small, maybe even silly, but that one drawer became the beginning of something much deeper. Every item I released seemed to take a bit of emotional weight with it. Old photos that carried pain, letters that reminded me of endings, clothes that no longer fit the person I become. Each goodbye felt like a quiet exhale after years of holding my breath. And as the clutter slowly disappeared, something beautiful began to happen. I could breathe again. I could walk through my home and feel space, not just physical space, but mental space. There was a peace in simplicity, a stillness I hadn't felt in years. Minimalism, I realized, wasn't about having less just for the sake of it. It was about making room for more of what matters. More quiet mornings with coffee and sunlight. More laughter that isn't drowned out by busyness. More time to think, to rest, to be. Letting go taught me that every object carries energy, a memory, a story, a little piece of who we were. And when we hold on to everything, we leave no room for who we're becoming. It's not always easy. Some things tug at your heart. Some goodbyes sting a little. But with each drawer I cleared, I felt myself returning home. Not to a house, but to me. Now my home is still full, but in a different way. Full of peace, full of meaning, full of light and air and moments that feel alive. There's space to think, to breathe, to notice the gentle beauty of everyday life. The sound of rain, the smell of tea, the comfort of knowing that enough truly is enough. If you are feeling overwhelmed, maybe it's not your life that needs more. Maybe it's asking for less. Sometimes peace doesn't arrive with more things, but with fewer distractions. It's found in the courage to let go, one drawer, one emotion, one step at a time, until all that remains is the quiet truth of what really matters.
It started with a single drawer. The one in the kitchen that had become a quiet disaster. Tangled cords, old receipts, things I didn't even remember owning. For years, I'd open it, sigh, and shut it again, telling myself I'd deal with it someday. But one morning, coffee in hand, I decided to start there. I emptied it out piece by piece until only the essentials remained. It took less than 15 minutes, but something shifted. That tiny drawer, once cluttered and chaotic, now felt like a breath of fresh air. It was small, yes, but it gave me a quiet sense of control, a little corner of calm in a noisy world. That feeling spread. The next day, I cleared a shelf. A week later, a closet. Before I knew it, my home began to breathe again, and so did I. Peace doesn't come from tackling everything at once. It begins in small, gentle steps. One drawer, one corner, one quiet choice at a time. When you choose to clear just a little space, you're not just tidying your home. You're creating room for peace to walk in.
A few years ago, I realized my home had stopped feeling peaceful. Every drawer overflowed, every surface was cluttered, and even though I had everything I thought I wanted, I never felt calm. One afternoon, I looked around and asked myself a simple question. Does this bring me peace or chaos? That question changed everything. I started letting go, one item, one drawer, one memory at a time. The clothes I never wore, the gadgets collecting dust, the decorations that no longer spoke to me, they all went. And with each thing I released, the air in my home felt lighter, softer, easier to breathe. I began to see how much energy clutter had been stealing from me. Now I keep only what brings calm: a soft blanket, a plant by the window, a few books that make me think and smile. Every object has a purpose. Every corner feels intentional. My home finally feels like a sanctuary again, not a storage room. Peace isn't something we find by adding more. It's something we create when we gently choose less but better. When everything around you breathes calm, your heart finally does too.
For years, I held on to boxes of old things, birthday cards, faded shirts, souvenirs from trips long gone. Each one carried a whisper of the past, a piece of someone I once was. I told myself that if I let them go, I'd be letting go of the memories too. But one quiet afternoon, as I sorted through them, I realized something. The moments that mattered most were already a part of me. They lived in my heart, not in the clutter gathering dust. So I began to let go, one item at a time, one what if at a time. The guilt tried to creep in. What if I need this someday? What if I forget? But peace slowly replaced it. Because the truth is, you don't owe your memories to the things that hold them. The love, the laughter, the lessons, they stay even when the objects are gone. Now, my home feels lighter, but more importantly, so does my mind. Letting go didn't mean losing anything. It meant making space for today. Sometimes, the best way to honor the past is simply to carry its warmth forward, not in our closets, but in our hearts.
I remember the first time I truly decluttered my home, not just a quick tidy up, but really letting go. I opened a closet packed with old memories, clothes I hadn't worn in years, boxes of forgotten trinkets, things I once thought I might need someday. Each item carried a whisper of the past, a little guilt, a little nostalgia. But as I began to sort through them, something unexpected happened. It wasn't just the shelves that started to clear, it was my mind. With every box I emptied, a weight lifted. The silence that filled the room felt different, not empty, but peaceful. I realized I'd been holding on to more than just stuff. I'd been holding on to emotions, regrets, what-ifs, pieces of who I used to be. When you clear your home, your thoughts begin to settle too. You start to breathe easier, think clearer, and live lighter. The space you create isn't only on your shelves, it's in your heart. And in that quiet, open space, peace finally has room to stay. Sometimes decluttering isn't about losing things. It's about finding yourself again, beneath it all.
I used to think peace required a perfect home, spotless rooms, matching colors, everything in its place. But one day, I realized I didn't need perfection. I just needed a corner, a small, quiet space that felt like an exhale. So I cleared one spot by the window, placed a soft chair, a little plant, and a candle. That's it. Nothing fancy. But every morning, I sit there with my coffee, watching the light change, listening to the gentle hum of the day beginning. It's become my little island of calm, a place where my thoughts can settle and my heart can breathe. What surprised me most is how that one peaceful corner changed everything else. The rest of the house still gets messy, life still gets loud, but somehow it all feels lighter because I know I have a place to return to, a reminder that peace doesn't fill a room, it fills a moment. You don't need a big house or a perfect life to feel grounded. Just one small space that says, slow down, you're home. When I was younger, I thought peace came from getting away. A weekend in the mountains, a beach vacation, a cabin far from everything. But as the years went on, I realized something. The peace I was chasing out there was something I could create right here, at home. Not with big renovations or fancy furniture, but with one simple choice: to carve out a small corner of stillness. It started one afternoon after a long, restless day. The house felt loud, not just from noise, but from clutter, from busyness, from my own racing thoughts. Every surface seemed to ask for something: papers to file, dishes to wash, laundry to fold. I remember standing in the middle of it all and thinking, there has to be one place in this house that feels quiet. So I made one. In the corner by the window, the one that caught the morning sun, I moved a small chair, a plant, and a soft blanket. I cleared the space, swept the floor, and added a single candle. That was it. No big plan, no grand design, just a place where I could sit, breathe, and be still. The first morning I sat there, I didn't do much. I didn't meditate or write in a journal or make a to-do list. I just sat with my coffee and listened to the sound of birds, to the hum of the refrigerator, to the quiet rhythm of my own breathing. The world didn't stop, but for a few minutes, it felt like it had slowed down just enough for me to catch up. That little corner became my refuge. When the day felt heavy, I'd go there. When my mind was noisy, I'd go there. It wasn't about escaping the world. It was about finding a moment of stillness within it. Over time, I noticed something beautiful. The calm I felt in that one small corner began to spread. My mornings felt gentler. My conversations felt kinder. Even the way I moved through my home, slower, more aware, began to change. That tiny space became a quiet teacher, reminding me that peace doesn't come from having more room, more stuff, or more time. It comes from making space, inside and out, for what truly matters. You don't need a special room or expensive decor. Your corner of stillness could be a chair by the window, a seat on the porch, or even a small table with a candle and your favorite book. What matters isn't where it is, but what it represents. A place where you choose to pause, to breathe, to reconnect with yourself. In a world that's always rushing, that small act of creating stillness is an act of courage. It's a way of saying, I choose peace, even in the middle of chaos. And the more often you return to that corner, the more you realize it's not just the space that's changing, it's you. So today, I invite you to find your own quiet spot. Clear a little space, add something that brings you calm. Maybe a plant, a candle, or a photo that makes you smile. Sit there for 5 minutes. Breathe. Let the noise fade, just for a moment. Because even one peaceful corner can change the way you feel inside your home. And sometimes that's all it takes. One small space, one quiet moment to remind you that peace has always been waiting for you right where you are.